Welcome back to the World of Light. So in this episode we're going to get ourselves a few more spirits. First of all is Valoo from The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. The first major dungeon of Wind Waker, not counting the Forsaken Fortress, is Dragon Roost Island. Basically a big volcano with Valoo the dragon in pain at the very top. And what you have to do is reach the end of that dungeon, deal with the boss who is causing Valoo grief, and then you can continue with your adventure. So, there he is, that is Valoo. By getting the spirit here, we get the falling immunity ability, which makes sense. Valoo is a chunky boy, and therefore he's not likely to fall into his own volcano. Next up, we have the Goombas from Super Mario Bros. From the entirety of the Super Mario series, in fact. Goombas are basic foot soldiers in Bowser's army. Something quite interesting about them is that they are apparently defectors from the Mushroom Kingdom itself. So, yeah, they are traitors, a bunch of horrible little traitors. In the games, all they really do is just walk from left to right, and if they bump into you, they hurt you. They are the most generic platformer enemy of all time. If you jump on them, you do a hecking squish on them. The only Goombas I'd say are fairly notable are the ones that appear in the Paper Mario series. There are actual communities of Goombas who are given characteristics and personalities, and they aren't just angry little murder machines. On that note, we're playing as the Piranha Plant because, hey, there's another Mario enemy who has been around since Super Mario Bros. God damn, that was a good kill. There are the Goombas. They give us a boost to our foot attack? So I guess canonically, Goombas have always just kicked Mario. That's how they kill him. I always thought they were ones for headbutting. Anyway, let's go and blow up this rock with my Poppy Brother Jr. And that gets us Gyarados, the evolved form of Magikarp. A big, terrifying Pokemon. Speaking of big, terrifying Pokemon from Gen 1, here is Snorlax. So Snorlax, who later gained a pre-evolution in the form of Munchlax, is a big bear Pokemon from Gen 1. Essentially, it is a roadblock. It is just a big sleeping bear who blocks off the second half of the game from you. And in order to pass it, you have to find the Pokeflute item, wake it up, and then do battle with it. Now, the reason this battle has us trying to whittle down a big, powerful enemy who just won't fucking die is because in Generation 2, not counting Ubers, legendaries, Snorlax was the strongest Pokemon in the game because it was so tanky that it was borderline impossible to kill. Hence this battle, which has us trying to take down a lot of HP in a very short amount of time, while he's sitting there healing himself, assumingly with the move Rest. So, yeah, Snorlax can be an absolute fucker. In more recent games, he's a bit easier to beat, what with power creep and such. And there he goes. That gives us resistance to strong winds, because look at the size of that guy. Look at that absolute unit. Like, he ain't going anywhere. So, moving on, we have Silver the Hedgehog. Oh boy, Silver the Hedgehog. Silver the Hedgehog holds the esteemed gold medal for worst boss fight in video game history. Not in this game, he's fine in this. But he appears in the infamously bad Sonic 06 as a traveller from the future who is sent back to stop the apocalypse by defeating the Iblis Trigger. He is tricked by the game's final boss into thinking that Sonic is the Iblis Trigger, when he isn't. And when you first fight him in Sonic's campaign, you get a boss fight with him where,
It's no use! It's no use! It's no use! It's no use!
Yeah, it's the worst. It's actually so bad that he can throw you out of bounds and then you're trapped flying through space forever, and you can't even reset, so you have to turn off your Xbox and turn it back on in order to continue. Actually the worst. Anyway, here is Plessy. Plessy appears in Super Mario 3D World as a big aquatic variant of Yoshi. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really care much for Plessy. I was just like, when I saw it in that game, I was just like, this is a big rubbish Yoshi. I do not care for this beast. But thankfully, we have Yoshi representing, so there we go. Plessy gives you the very rare swimmer ability, so yeah, that makes sense. In most levels where you find Plessy, you're basically going through water slides anyway. Anyway, speaking of water slides, let's go for a little swim, why don't we? And that leads us towards a little islet with Esna from Ever Oasis. Ever Oasis is an action-adventure RPG for the Nintendo 3DS. Esna is one of the central characters, being a guardian water spirit who helps the protagonist by allowing them to create and maintain an oasis. It's one of those games where you go out and you do your adventuring, and then you gain resources for your, you know, hub world. In this case, being said oasis. Anyway, that battle went way easier than any 3-star battle should have, because the AI kind of screwed up. Here's Pikachu! Kind of like Mario, here's an example of a character who, if I tell you who they are and what they're from, I'm probably insulting your intelligence. But one cool thing about Pikachu, though, is that in the original Super Smash Bros., Pikachu was the broken character. Pikachu was the S-tier character, because it could just do everything perfectly. It was fast, it could combo, it had devastating specials, it could chain grab, it could do all sorts of dope shit. It basically covered every single base, and in the right hands it was unstoppable. Since then, it's gotten a little worse, but I'd say Pikachu's second best appearance is actually in this game. Pikachu is pretty good in Smash Ultimate. In fact, Isam, a notable Pikachu competitive player, actually had a recent win with Pikachu, so good on him. Anyway, it is button time. Or maybe not. Okay, we have a new obstacle. Just a great big wall of lights. Again, it's very strange that light is thematically evil in this game, but there you go. Anyway, it's a good thing I have this button right here. That will allow me to enter the sanctuary on the top left there, which will allow me to get rid of that light wall. I can literally deal with it straight away, so good work, Galeem, you massive oaf. You did nothing. You achieved nothing. Well, we have all sorts of things around here. The first thing I want to do is quickly jump back into this water and see if there is an alternate path I can take. Yeah, I have to go this way. Never mind. Alright, God, there's so many choices. Let's go for that chest first. This is Cupid. Cupid appears in Sennen Kazoku, which is a Game Boy Advance life simulator game. Kind of. In said game, you would play as Cupid, a guardian angel, and what you would have to do is, tasked by God, you would have to look after a family. And the cool thing about it is, even though this was a Game Boy Advance game, before internal clocks were even a thing, the game actually had a real-time clock built into it, so kind of like Animal Crossing, even when you weren't playing the game, life would move on, so you would be expected to check in on this family every now and then, at the very least. And that's pretty cool. I mean, I can't deal with games like that anymore, life commitments, so yeah. I think Animal Crossing New Horizons is going to be the last one of those I really invest into. Because, yeah, I'm a grown-up now, and it sucks. I have bills to pay, and I hate it. Anyway, let's deal with this pit, because this battle has gone on for way too long. These cupids have been actual bastards. There we go. That gives us the staff, which, yeah, shoots out a magical blast. That seems about right for a cupid. Also, I never really brought attention to it, but yes, I am now playing as the Nipper plant there. Hope you enjoy that. Anyway, here's Dive Man from Mega Man 4. Dive Man is one of the Robot Masters, and he wields aquatic missiles. To represent that, we have a bunch of Mega Men, all of whom are using steel divers, which are quite literally that. They are little submarine guns that fire torpedoes. Thankfully, there's a delay on them, so all I really have to do is just watch for them when they take their shots, and then act accordingly. Also, this is a stamina battle, so don't get hit too much. Try and use your shield if you can. The super armor that Piranha Plant is so very useful for utilizing. You know, that's not particularly helpful here, but yeah. Anyway, let's deal that finishing blow. I don't know what the hell that was. That was not a finishing blow. Here we go. Bite his face off. You'll also notice that I healed there. That is because of the Great Fairy. Who better to tie to a plant-based character than a fairy? Anyway, next up we have this chest, which contains some skill spheres. That was worth it, I guess. Well, anyway, I think now is the time for us to see who is in this shack right here. This is Cap'n from Animal Crossing. Cap'n, I don't really know how to say that properly. Cap'n is a Kappa, and he's also a captain, hence the name. And in the original Animal Crossing, he could appear at the beach, which would always appear at the lower end of your town. And he could actually ferry you to a little deserted island, a little paradise to call your own. And while he rode you there, he would actually sing you really cute little ditties, this particular song being a remix of his ditties. And my favourite one is one where he goes on about how video games are garbage and going out to sea and singing is way more fun, with the very choice line, Mario can't croon, bro. Yeah, he throws shade at Mario. I really should have played as Mario for this one, just to show him the fuck up. Anyway, this particular battle is actually really, really goddamn hard. If you don't have a wind-resistant spirit, which thankfully I do in the form of the Stork, this fight would be borderline impossible. It's ridiculous. So, yeah. And even then, the actual gimmick that I can't swim is also pretty bad. If I touch that water surface and I don't immediately recover out of it, I'm functionally dead. So, that was almost a kill. All I had to do was touch that paint that was stuck on the screen and I would have died there. Oh. God, this could go either way. Oh, this could go either way. Oh, Jesus. Nope, 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 nope. I don't like this at all. Take some Final Smash. Oh, you son of a bitch. You didn't hit the ground. Final Smash. Oh, you landed in the water and you survived it. Oh, all my peaches blew away. You suck. You suck, Captain. Get out. That's what you get. Also, he ferries in a boat. I need that. I need that to traverse on the world map. So, perfect. That is going to open up a whole new area for us. Back near the mushroom section. I don't really know what to call all the quadrants in this game, so yeah. Anyway, this is Darunia. Darunia appears as the chief of the Gorons in The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. He is a big, powerful Goron. And, yeah, this battle has a lot of Goron-esque elements to it. First of all, you have all the Jigglypuffs, which doesn't seem very Goron-like, but, Their constant spamming of rollout is very reminiscent of how a Goron moves around. You also have the lava for Death Mountain, and the hammer to represent the Megaton Hammer. A nice little menagerie of Goron-esque features there. Anyway, we now get Darunia's location, which teaches us the Boulder style. So the Boulder style is particularly interesting. It boosts your defense and your move speed, but lowers your offense and your jump. So in almost every sense, you have to play like a boulder. Like, you have to rely a lot on your dash attacks and your inability to die to win battles. Not actually that great, so yeah. Anyway, this is Merrick. Merrick is a mage from Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon, the original Fire Emblem game. He is pretty generic as far as mages go. Not much to say about him, he dead. Just booted him in the fucking face with Groudon. As you do. And next up we have Lucario, another Pokemon. 2 Pokemon Master Spirits, or actual characters, in one episode. So, Lucario is a particularly interesting Pokemon, introduced in Generation 4, Diamond and Pearl, and later Platinum. Lucario was essentially the mascot of Generation 4, even getting its own movie, Lucario and the Mystery of Mew. It is a Pokemon that can wield Aura, and I'm not gonna lie, it's just Pokemon's take on Goku. He uses Ki, or Aura, to use Kamehamehas. Oh, sorry, Aura Spheres. And he's also voiced by Sean Shamel, literally Goku's voice actor. So he's just Goku. I would love for all the people saying they want Goku in Smash, myself included, to eventually get him, only to find out that he's an echo of Lucario. That would be amazing. That would be incredible. Anyway, yeah, in Generation 6, well, Generation 6 onwards, he also got a Mega Evolution, Mega Lucario, which is pretty goddamn beast. And in Smash itself, he has a particularly interesting gimmick, where the more damage he has, the more he's racked up damage, the more damage he does. A slight representation of the Pokemon move Reversal. That's enough about Lucario, it's time for Lloyd. Lloyd is a talking gyroid, introduced in Animal Crossing City Folk. To clarify what a gyroid is, they are basically a bunch of creepy Moai head people who you have to bury up from the ground. You can put them in your house, and they are terrifying to look at. Even more terrifying is that in the GameCube version of Animal Crossing, the original one for most Western players, there is actually a glitch where if you travel to someone else's town and then reset your game while you're in someone else's town, when you turn the game back on, you will have a terrifying gyroid face. It is haunting. I did this once as a kid, not realizing it would happen, and I swear to God I had an actual nightmare about it. It was not okay. Anyway, here's Bewear. So Bewear is a Generation 7 Pokemon, the evolved form of Stuffle. Stuffle being an adorable little red panda Pokemon. And Bewear is basically a giant stuffed toy who, morbidly enough, has a tendency to bear hug its loved ones to death. Hence why its name is literally Bewear. Beware of this horrible, murderous, and loving killing machine. In Smash Bros, it can appear from Pokeballs, as you can see there, and it hits like a motherfucking tank. It can kill you pretty easily from low percentages, so do not fuck with the Bewear, whatever you do. Another cool thing is that in the new season of Pokemon, well, the Sun and Moon season of Pokemon, Team Rocket, instead of blasting off, just get carried away by a Bewear. I guess they had to mix up the formula a little bit. Here is Perry. Perry appears as Princess Peach's close friend and also weapon in the dreadful game Super Princess Peach. The rather embarrassing game in which you finally get to play as Peach in her own standalone game, and she has to save the Mario Bros. She's not the damsel in distress anymore. Go on an adventure where you use your wildly fluctuating emotions in order to overcome your enemies. Yeah, you had to use Princess Peach's wildly varying emotions because, you know, bitches be crazy, says Nintendo. Also, the magical item that allows you to utilize this power is called the Vibe Scepter, which is so close to just being a vibrator that, yeah, that opens up a whole new can of worms on its own. That game was problematic. Anyway, I managed to take down Princess Peach with the Shadow Queen there. That seems correct. That seems about right. And there's a whole new area. I'm not going to deal with that yet. I will go back to that later. Can't cross that bridge yet either. God, I've got a lot of backtracking to do later on. So, tell you what, let's just try and make forward progress over this way. No, don't want to go there either. There's just fog everywhere. I think I've got all the spirits in this area. So what I am going to do is I'm now going to make a beeline for that sanctuary. Yeah, even Tingle. I ain't going to do Tingle. So let's head right back over to that pipe, that warp pipe. There we go. And with that, let's get rid of that big, horrible wall of lights. See you soon. Wait, no, I forgot something. One more thing. First of all, I want to go to my summons. Because if we combine the recently acquired Beware with a Freezy, so, you know, an icy item, we get an Icy Bear. By which I mean a polar bear. We get a polar bear. And not even Beartic, the polar bear Pokemon. Instead, we get the polar bear from Ice Climber, who gives us a very interesting ability. We'll be playing with that later. Anyway, to the sanctuary!